Hello, Steve Richardson here, and this is Lunch with a Lawyer for April of 2017. Apologize for the lighting. I think I'm a little dark in here. Let me see if I can get a little brighter. Not that much better, but we can still talk to each other. So, today, Lunch with a Lawyer. I'm having my lunch. Glad you could join in. And today on Lunch with the Lawyer, we're going to talk about some of the ways in which we give the police here in New Jersey probable cause to pull us over. Now, usually in order to stop you in New Jersey, to pull you over, they have to have probable cause. There has to be some reason to pull you over. They can't just decide that they want to pull you over, all right, just to give you trouble, or whatever reason. And I have to say, for the most part, that these tips, a lot of them officers don't pull you over for it, but they are technicalities that can cause an issue. They pull you over, maybe there's a question as to probable cause, they pull you over, maybe there wasn't an issue, but you do one of these things that we're going to talk about, and that gives the police a reason to pull you over, and then they've got probable cause. You can't suppress what happens as a result of the stop because they have probable cause to pull you over. So, why help them out? Okay? Why give them a reason? So, although they most times for some of these won't pull you over, again, preventative medicine. Because oftentimes what happens is, and there are a lot of cases like this where they pull you over for one thing and then they find out that you did something else. They find something else. Maybe they pull you over for one reason. They get you over, they take a look, and they discover something else. Maybe they see drugs in plain view. They think they pull you over for one thing. Maybe they then suspect that you're drunk. Different things. So you need to look at what all of us are doing, and I think we all do these. And you'll see why every day they cause a problem. So let's get right into it. The first one is failure to keep right. Now, we've all seen, you're supposed to keep right except to pass, okay? And for a two-lane highway, this is pretty straightforward, okay? There are two lanes. You keep to the right one for regular travel. You go to the left-hand lane if you need to pass the person in front of you or several cars in front of you for whatever reason. So keep right except to pass. Now, this becomes a problem and becomes an issue when there's more than two lanes. So let's say you're on 295 at the New Jersey Turnpike, Atlantic City Expressway, 287, 87, all these different interstates and routes that have more than two lanes. And what happens is let's say you have a three-lane highway. Well, the middle lane is really the passing lane for trucks and large commercial vehicles. They can't be all the way over to the left. So really, if you're in a three-lane, you should be all the way over to the right, okay, and keep right. Continue to do that and only move over to the middle or left-hand lane if you have to pass. And that's not something that you normally think about. You figure, well, I'm not exiting off the highway. I don't have to get off, so why continually stay in the right-hand lane where traffic might be a little bit slower, especially as you approach an exit? I should really be in the middle lane, and that's a middle of the road, as it were, and that's safe. But it really, strictly speaking, is not. You're not keeping right in that instance. So you have three more lanes on a highway. You really have to be all the way over to the right unless you're passing. So again, you're just giving them a reason to pull you over. So that's the number one thing. Number two, and this is surprising to a lot of people, license plate frames, okay? Anything that obscures the license plate is illegal, okay? You might have been driving through mud, or there's a lot of ice or snow or something that cakes up onto the plate and obscures it, all right? Obscures some of the information that's on the plate. That's illegal, okay? And license plate frames can cause a problem because the frame itself can obscure, and it depends upon the frame, But a lot of them, why do they have information and they're free advertising? Car dealerships do it all the time, okay? And next time when you get in your car and you're driving somewhere, hopefully you're not doing it now while you're watching, okay? But next time you get in your car and you're driving, take a look around and see how many cars have these license plate frames. You're all driving around giving the police probable cause to pull you over. Now, let's face it, okay? Police officers have better things to do than to pull you over because you have a license plate frame on there, all right? But again, if they're casting around, if they get into trouble and they realize they don't have a real probable cause, and you have a license plate frame, they can say, "Oh well, I pulled him over because he had a license plate frame." And this is what a lot of people don't know. My wife and I bought a new car recently, and we were at the dealership, and they had the temporary plates on, and then we had done the paperwork to get the regular registration and plates. And I said to the salesman, "Do me a favor, when the lot guys put the plate on, the real one, have them to take off the license plate frame. Don't put it back on." And he said, "Well, why?" And I said, "Because they're illegal in New Jersey. You can't put them on." And he was surprised. He said, "What do you mean? We put them on all our cars." I said, "Sure. And all the other dealerships do too. And you can buy souvenir license plate frames. You go to Disney World or some other attraction, and you can get these. But nonetheless, they're illegal and giving the police probable cause to pull you over." So finish watching this video, get a screwdriver, go out to your car and remove the license plate frames and put your licenses on without them. Just causes a problem. Number 3, items hanging from the rear view mirror. Okay, that goes to obstructed view. The license plate frame goes to obstructed plate. This is going to obstructed view through the windshield. Now, it can depend on what's hanging from the rear view mirror. It doesn't really and truly obstruct your view. And there was a case of where someone had these little small boxing gloves on a chain that were, for whatever reason, were important to that person, had them hanging from the rear view mirror, and there's a question as to whether they obscured the plates. Oh, excuse me, whether they obstructed the view and gave the police probable cause to pull them over. So it's not strictly speaking that you have something hanging from the rear view mirror. It still goes to whether it obstructs your view. But again, why have anything hanging from it? Okay, this comes into play usually in 2 circumstances. One, GPS devices. New Jersey and California are the only 2 states that do not allow you to attach a GPS device to the windshield. Obstructed view. Okay. California, I understand that if you put it in the lower left or lower right hand corner of the windshield, then that's acceptable. But what good is it? I mean, to see it, you're the driver. It's all the way over to the right hand side, and you're trying to see the screen. It's not very much use, and over to the right here might be easier, but you're not used to looking to your left like that. At least I'm not. So really, if you have a GPS, you should get one of those little beanbag stands or something like that holders that rest on the dashboard that do not attach to the windshield. You can do that if you use your phone that has built-in software, Google Maps, or if you have an iPhone, Apple Maps. And I have a little rubber stand that I got for a few bucks from Amazon that's on the dashboard that I can put the phone in. The other practical reason besides obstructed view is that oftentimes thieves will see that little ring on the windshield, okay, a little suction cup ring, and they'll say, "Oh, there's a GPS device in this car," and they'll break into the car to steal the GPS and whatever else they may find. So that can lead to a telltale sign. Another good reason to have GPS resting on the dashboard. So what I would do, and the other time where it comes up is, my wife and I in May take a trip to the Jersey Shore down to Wildwood, and we stay at a hotel, and these hotels have these large parking placards that you hang from the rear view mirror, and you hang it there for when you're parked there to say, "Look, I'm staying at this hotel, and parking is a premium at the Jersey Shore. I'm staying here, I'm allowed to park here. Idea being, during the season, if they come across a car that doesn't have a placard on it, they'll tow it. So you have that on your rearview mirror. And that's fine, but the problem is that you then forget about it and you pull out of the parking lot and you drive down Atlantic Avenue in Wildwood or some other short town, and you got this thing hanging from the rearview mirror, and that is going to obstruct your view. It's usually these long tags. So just be careful about what you hang from the rearview mirror. The next one is not signaling a lane change. Okay, I had a case. It was a drunk driving case, and we were looking at it as to whether the guy wasn't really weaving in the road or things like that. There wasn't any other indication, and I started looking. I said, well, what was the probable cause to pull him over? Well, the answer was he made a lane change and he didn't signal it. Well, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to signal a lane change. It's a public safety issue. You're letting the cars around you know what you're doing so you don't cut anybody off. Fair warning. So that scuttled any attempt to suppress evidence in the drunk driving case because there was probable cause to pull him over. So when you're dealing with that, don't be careful to signal the lane change. And when you do that, because that's very important. And think about that when you're driving. And the fifth item is failure to maintain lane. I mentioned that a few minutes ago. That is a common basis for a stop for drunk driving because you're impaired, you're having trouble staying within the lane, you're weaving back and forth, and you're crossing over the lanes. So that's not something you do. You may be tired, you just maybe maybe your attention is drawn to something as your hands on the wheel, you veer one way or the other. If your car has the feature, the in-lane check, or whatever they call it, turn it on. It can be a pain. It'll keep beeping at you every time you veer over the line. But it'll give you a good idea of how often you're doing it. And you may not even be aware of it. Okay? So if your car has that feature and it's turned off, turn it on. Okay? Because that's helping you to remember to stay in your lane. Tells you when you're doing it so you can be conscious of it as you're driving and be less likely to weave in the road. And I'm saying, obviously, you shouldn't drive drunk, okay, or impaired, or very sleepy, or things like that. And if that's causing you to weave in the road, you should pull over. All right, don't mistake me. But this feature in cars now that has that alarm go off allows you to it raises your awareness, brings it to your conscious mind that you're weaving in the road, and that's a reason to pull you over. So those are the top 5. But I wanted to give you a bonus round. Now it's April, and I look out the window as I'm recording this today here in southern New Jersey. Very nice day, sunny, supposed to get into the 80s, very warm. But in winter months, and we've had snow in April, be conscious of if there's been a snowstorm and there's snow and ice on your car, make sure that you clear all of it off your car. All right, I know you shovel the driveway and you got to get to work and you're in a hurry and you say, all right, well, there's not that much snow. It's not that far a drive, I'll get to work. That presents a problem. The very fact that it's on your car, even if it's doing nothing else than sitting snow and ice on your car, you're giving the police probable cause to pull you over, okay? Because it's a danger. Okay? It's a minor fine if you just have the snow and ice on your car. But I'm sure we've all been driving along and you see these people, and even if it's just the powdery snow blowing off as they're driving, that can obscure your view. You get a windshield full of snow from another driver where it blows off, and you can't see where you're going. You might swerve or be startled by it, and that causes a problem. Or worse, a big chunk of snow or ice breaks off another car and hits your car. All right, so you can be driving around causing a real danger to other drivers and cause damage to other cars because of this stuff flying off your car. And if you do cause damage to another vehicle, then the fines and monetary costs become much greater. So be careful of this, of driving around with snow and ice. I know we're coming into the spring and everything, and it's probably not going to be on your mind. Hopefully you won't forget by next winter, but just bear in mind that to do that when you shovel off your driveway, make sure you clear your car completely of snow and ice so it doesn't break off as far as that goes. So those are our top 5 things that we do to give the police probable cause to pull us over, with one bonus for the wintertime. So if you like this video, please hit that like button or that love button. If you think someone might be interested in this topic, share the video. Click that share button, all right? And share it with other people and say, hey, this is interesting. This is something everybody should know. This is something you should know. Tell your friends by sharing the video on your feed and saying, hey, be aware of these things that we're all doing, so that, and it makes you a better driver. Okay, you know, it's sort of, yeah, you don't want police to pull you over or give you excuses, but really doing all of this makes you a better and safer driver. So take it in those terms as well. It makes you a better, safer driver. And speaking of better, safer drivers, since this is April, it is Distracted Driving Awareness Month. Okay, and that is, distracted driving has become more of a threat to public safety, we're finding, than drunk driving. You know, people that are texting and driving, or talking on their phones, or making calls, or applying makeup, or eating lunch, or whatever they're doing, that's causing them to be distracted from job one, which is driving the car. All right? So be careful of that, about texting and driving, or any kind of distracted driving throughout the year, not just in April during Distracted Driving Awareness Month. But that is something to be aware of. Because now, especially if you live in New Jersey, because talking about, you know, on the subject of giving the police probable cause to pull you over, there is now a system for other drivers to rat you out for distracted driving. Okay, if they see you texting and driving on your phone, doing something, and they think you're distracted, okay, they see you maybe weaving in the road a little bit because you're busy texting or applying makeup or eating lunch or whatever you're doing, they pick up their phones, passenger picks up their phone, all right, or the driver pulls over safely and then does it, picks out the phone, dials pound 77, and then gives information, maybe a license plate number, if it isn't obscured, a make and model of car, where it is, things like that. And it's a tip line that alerts the police that this person is driving distractedly, and you could end up with a ticket. All right? Under New Jersey's distracted driving law, their cell phone law. So don't drive distractedly. And if you do see someone driving distractedly, and you can do it safely yourself without driving distracted yourself, okay, pound 77, tell them about it. Now, this law came about in New Jersey due to a lot of lobbying by an organization called People Against Distracted Driving, PADD. Their website is padd.org. And that organization was founded by a guy in my town, Washington Township, New Jersey, a guy named Mike Kaleni. And his daughter was killed in an automobile accident that arose from distracted driving, texting and driving. When the person did not stop when they're supposed to at a stop sign, intersection, she's a passenger in the car, and another vehicle plowed right into her, and she was killed. It was on April 15th, 5 years ago. So this coming Saturday, April 15th, is the 5th anniversary of this poor young girl's death. She was a senior at Washington Township High School, Nikki Kaleni, and life was cut short by distracted driving. And this inspired her parents, Mike and his wife, to form PAD. And they've done things like put through lobbied for more significant penalties for distracted driving. A lot of awareness signs. You might see signs on the road with a cell phone with a red circle and a bar through it, saying don't text and drive. Those are all over New Jersey and in a lot of other states because PAD has gone national. And so they pushed for this Pound 77 law, whole procedure to do that. They have some tips on their website on how to cut down on distracted driving yourself, how to be safer. There's also a walk for PAD in Washington Lake Park this Saturday, April 15th at 9 a.m. If you live in Washington Township or Gloucester County or in that area where you can get down to Washington Lake Park this Saturday, take part in the walk. Be a part of this awareness and make other people aware of it. It's very important. And if you live in southern New Jersey in Burlington, Camden, Gloucester County, Salem, Cumberland, or Atlantic or Cape May counties, the southern New Jersey area where I am, if you email me at steve@richardsonlawoffices.com, I will send you my little cell phone bag. Okay, you put your cell phone in there. It's a drawstring bag. You close it. When you get in the car and you put it down, and it takes away temptation. Okay, so you get that bag it in your car. So email me with your name and your mailing address, and I'll send that to you if you live in the South Jersey area, because I do have limited supply on it. So if you have it, great, I'll send that out to you. But that's it for our lunch with a lawyer, and I'll be back next month. I hope to. I'm looking into more and more content. I'd like to come to you more often than once a month with this information. And if any of you have any ideas for future episodes or future live broadcasts, leave a comment, okay? Let me know what you'd like to hear about. I'd love to hear from you, okay? So, like it, love it, share it, leave a comment on what you thought of the video or other video ideas. And that's it, and I will see you next month.